Well, good morning. It is Sunday, May the 15th. Hope you had a great week last week and are off to another good start today. I'm not exactly sure why, and I'm not exactly sure how it happened, but somehow over the last 2 or 3 months, I've become very interested in soccer, what we call soccer here in the United States, which is what is called football in most of the rest of the world. But anyway, somehow I've become very interested in that. Again, not sure why, not sure what drew my attention to it, but anyway, one of the things that I have noticed, and it happens quite often, that during the game, a team will be moving toward the goal that they are supposed to score against, and instead of always moving forward, sometimes they kick the ball backwards and then move forward again, and then sometimes they'll kick the ball backwards. And I don't know whether this is correct or not. I haven't looked it up. I haven't gotten any books on soccer strategy, if you will. But it seems to me that what they're doing is regrouping. And while they had been moving forward, whatever their strategy is, got a little out of kilter, if you will. And so they kick the ball back and they kind of regroup and start over. Now, again, I don't know whether that's true or not. But one of the things that it reminded me of was that the Gospels tell us that from time to time, Jesus would go off by himself. He would get away from the crowds, he would get away from his disciples, and he would simply be alone. Mark records for us in what is known as Mark chapter 1 and verse 35, that Jesus, rising very early in the morning, while it was still dark, he departed and went out to a desolate place, and there he prayed. And again, this is not the only time that Jesus got away from the crowds and got away from his disciples and went somewhere just by himself. And he spent time in prayer or just being alone and enjoying the peace and quiet away from the crowds. And I think there's a good lesson in there for you and I. We are so busy. And again, you think of all of the things, the technological advances that have happened over the last 30 or 40 years that were touted in some way or another as going to save us time. Printers were going to save us paper. Well, I don't think that's true. Our cell phones were going to be able to save us time and make us more productive. Again, I'm not sure that's true either, because just about everywhere you go, day or night, people are on their phones. You go out to a restaurant and you see families sitting there, and sometimes it may just be the husband and the wife, and they're sitting at a table just by themselves, but they're each on their own phone. Sometimes you'll see parents with children, and if the child is old enough, they may be sitting there with a tablet. And if the child is a little bit older, they may have their own phone. And the parents are sitting there on their phones. And nobody's talking to each other. Nobody's paying attention to each other. And so all of these devices that were designed in some way, shape, or form to save us time and to make us more productive have just sucked up all the, quote, extra time that we have. And there are times where we just need to turn the phone off, set it down, and walk away from it. And get away from work. And get away from play. And just be by ourselves. And get some peace and quiet in our lives. And recenter ourselves. Relearn, if you will, remind ourselves of what's important, and recenter our lives so that we will have the strength and the energy and especially the focus to go be the salt and light that God would have us to be. And so let's learn that lesson from Jesus. He found it necessary to get away for a while from time to time and just be by himself. And if he needed to do that, then certainly we need to do that. So find some time to get away and to be quiet and to be still and to refocus yourself so that you can be the child of God that He has called you to be. Well, I pray that you'll have a great week.